Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode. Uncle David Meltzer was spitting fire for, it was a 30-minute episode, longer with Dave. Today, for episode number 791, is Struggling Optional? It is Motivation Monday. So Alan and I were kind of debating on whether or not to actually do this episode, and one of the reasons is it's a little bit hardcore, and I don't want to scare anybody away. Genuinely, that's a little bit of a fear of mine, but I've been seeing a lot of posts recently, and this is like the opposite of what Alan and I talk about and what we preach, what we believe, and what we've experienced. There's a lot of people out there saying you don't have to struggle, like you don't have to sacrifice anything, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to do any of that if you want to succeed. But like, if you really think about it, every time you get outside of your comfort zone, what are you doing? You're sacrificing comfort. You're struggling with your fears. It genuinely is necessary for success. There's a ton of people who are saying, well, if you're in alignment and you're connected spiritually, it'll just flow. And it's like, yeah, it might flow and things might be a little bit easier, but growth requires conflict. And conflict, by definition, is uncomfortable. So if you want a different result, you have to practice a different behavior. And again, there's a reason it's called the comfort zone, because that is comfortable. It's easy. There's no sacrifice required there. I just can't buy into what people are saying where, well, you just have to show up and, do your best and do what you feel like, and then you're going to get the result. Again, we're coming up on 800 episodes. Right? We're recording this on a Saturday. Genuinely, I didn't want to do this today. It's like, I didn't want to do it this afternoon, but that is what it takes. I didn't want to travel all the times we traveled. I didn't want to get on potential client calls, sales calls. I didn't want to put myself into debt. I didn't want to do a lot of the things that I've done because I've sacrificed a lot. I've struggled a lot. I've suffered a lot. But the reason we're succeeding at the level we are now is because we went through all that. And I can't lie about that. It's just not who I am as a person. And if I was trying to sell you something like a lot of people are, maybe I would say, look, my coaching is going to make it effortless. You'll never have to try again. But that's not what Alan and I believe in, and that's not what Next Level U stands for.
I had a client literally tell me yesterday, because I asked her about the referral thing. So Kevin and I have talked a little bit behind the scenes about what clients are referring us and how we can get more referrals and that kind of thing. And we realized that many of Kevin's clients refer him a lot more than my clients refer me. And we were trying to dig into why that might be. Mm-hmm. And one of my clients, not the one you're thinking of, Kev, a different one, I'll keep it anonymous, said, Alan, the reason I've not referred you is people can't handle it. I don't know anyone who could handle this. You're really, really hard on me. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. But what I told her is like, honestly, I'm hard on you because you've asked me to be. I'm not that way with everybody. I'm hard on people to the level they play at and the level they aspire to. Like if you want to squat 500 pounds, I'm going to be a little harder on you than if you only want to squat 200. I'm going to have to be, actually. So the reason we're doing this episode is something called the 4 S's. And Kevin saw a video again that fired him up because we believe in these 4 S's. We teach them in group coaching now. And the 4 S's are simple. The first one is sacrifice. You must give up the old version of you if you want to aspire to a new, more evolved, better version. Sacrifice. The second one is struggle. Once you give up and sacrifice that old version of you, you now have to struggle to build new habits, new thought patterns, new beliefs, new actions. I have one client right now who's doing peak performance tracking for the first time, and I talked to him today, and I said, honestly, it's really hard to face yourself. In theory, anyone can work out for a half an hour a day every day. In theory, that sounds so easy. In practice, everyone asks themselves, do I work out and exercise every single day? In theory, half hour a day. Totally makes sense. Perfect. Yeah, of course. Half hour a day. No problem. I can carve out a half hour a day. In theory, that sounds easy. In practice, how many people actually do it? 44% of doctors in this country are overweight. These are the people that study the human body, that know that health and nutrition is critical, that know that the number one cause of death in this country is cardiovascular heart attacks, other than obviously motor vehicle accidents and things like that. But and they're still overweight because it's very easy to talk about. It's not easy to be about. And so the first one, sacrifice. The second one, struggle. It is a struggle forming positive habits. It is a struggle doing book club at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Saturday, 32 sessions in a row. It is a struggle to show up on a Saturday and do this, okay? But it's worth it. So sacrifice, struggle, suffer. Suffer is number 3. Suffer is facing the truth of what you really are versus what you want to think of yourself. Elon Musk talks about wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is, I'm going to work out January 1st. I'm going to work out 6 days a week for a half an hour. That's called wishful thinking. It's a little different when you actually do it. Suffer. Suffering is when you're in the gym and it hurts. It actually hurts. You're tired. You don't feel well. You don't feel like going. The Stairmaster, anyone who's ever done a Stairmaster, it absolutely sucks. It gets to that point where it's like, this sucks. Now you can learn how to rewire that and say, okay, I'm going to learn to love the suffering. But it's still suffering, right? I mean, when you do abs in the gym, everyone wants abs, right? But doing abs, it absolutely sucks.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. When you're on that 17th rep, it's like, oh my God, my abs are on fire. They burn, they hurt. I'm suffering right now, but it's worth it. And so this is Motivation Monday. This is next level you. This is not fluffy feel good you. So on Motivational Monday, I'm going to tell you what Muhammad Ali said. I hated every single early morning workout. Hated every single one of them. But I loved being world champion. You don't get one without the other. And so here we are, heart-driven but no BS, Motivation Monday. I'm going to tell a very, very quick story here. I'm 19 years old. I'm a freshman in college, and I'm at home in my hometown for a party. And there's a man by the name of Matt who, and it's not Kevin and I's friend Matt, it's a Matt from my past, who was this studly, 6 foot tall, jacked, handsome, had it all guy. And at the time, I wasn't taking care of my health. I wasn't lifting. I wasn't proud of the man I was. I was drinking too much and too often. And yeah, I was smart, blah, 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 in college and all that. But I literally saw him, and he looked so good and so vibrant. Not just physically good, but like fulfilled. He was just this studly, awesome, happy, fulfilled human being who looked like had it all. All the girls wanted him. All the guys wanted to be like him. And I had to leave the room. I was so upset with myself that I had to leave the room. Okay, and I went into the corner. I remember Kiki came to see how I was. And I was just contemplating my choices, contemplating why I don't work out. Why don't I work out? Am I proud of who I am? Why am I so jealous? Why am I living in this envy? Right? Knowing deep, deep, deep down I could be like that. Okay? Fast forward 10 years later, I'm at a wedding. And this guy's here. He's at the wedding. His name's Matt. I'm outside, and he and some of my other friends and his other friends are smoking. They're smoking a cigar. And I'm the only one at this wedding not drinking. And he's like, dude, oh my God, those fitness shows, like, you looked unbelievable. Holy shit, like, I could never do that. And I'm sitting there like, I used to literally look at this guy's Facebook photos for inspiration, for how jacked and good looking and attractive and healthy and vibrant he was. And now here he is 10 years later saying I could never do that. I could never do what you're doing. And at the time I was a fitness model, fitness coach, fitness competitor, and I was inspiring him now. Someone who once inspired me, I now get to inspire a decade later. And I got to say, of course you could. Of course you could. Absolutely. If you ever need help, reach out. That's what a decade can do. That's what sacrificing, struggling, suffering can lead to success. I started to sacrifice after that time. I remember I started sacrificing drinking less, going to the gym more. I remember I quit drinking for 3 months during college, and it was one of the best times of my life. And so that's my point on this Motivation Monday. How much are you sacrificing? How much are you suffering? And how much are you struggling for what you really want? Because no, it's not just going to come. No, you're not going to wish checks into your bank account. It's not how it works, okay? And we're here to tell you the truth.
I told Alan this, and we'll go right after this. Yesterday or the day before, I was in the gym, and I was bench pressing, and somebody came up to me and said, hey, was that you squatting the other day? And I was like, yeah, that was me. And he's like, oh man, there's not a lot of people in here that squat that heavy of a weight. And again, it was 335 pounds. Like, that's not heavy, all things considered, for me. But he's like, it really inspired me because not a lot of people are doing that here. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I have sacrificed doing mobility every day for the past 2 years. You know, I've been working out, I've sacrificed, I've struggled, I've suffered. I'm finding gyms when I'm traveling, right? All those years I was traveling, I was working out after being up for 24 hours. So the reason I have that result is because of the effort I put in. And effort does not happen without sacrifice. It just doesn't. In a perfect world, sure, but we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a real world. And if you're not getting out of your comfort zone, you're not growing. And if you're out of your comfort zone, you're sacrificing. It just is that way. Heart-driven, but no BS. Again, I can tell you what's worked for Alan and I, and I've tried to wish a lot of things into my bank account, and nothing changed until my effort did. And getting out of my comfort zone and all those things were part of it. So we wanted to bring you a little extra hot fire on this Monday morning. Anything in closing, Alan?
The very last thing is this. If you talk to an Olympic gold medalist, they're going to tell you that they had to sacrifice, they had to struggle, and they had to suffer to achieve that gold medal. And that's what greatness is. And I'm just grateful that we're here able to tell the truth. And Amy's on her way over, my assistant. We're going to have a jam session on a Saturday night from 3 all the way to 8 p.m. And that's what it's going to take for us to achieve our goals. What's it going to take for you, our listeners, to achieve your goals? And that's what this is about.
And the beautiful thing, and we've been saying this since the beginning, we haven't forgotten what it's like on the journey because we're still on it. I think a lot of people forget. Like, if I stop doing fitness now, I might forget what it was like, the journey, the suffering, the struggling, the sacrificing. I might forget. So I think a lot of people do, but that doesn't mean they didn't do it along the way. It's very easy to say I wouldn't have worked so hard when you're one of the most successful people in the world. If you didn't work so hard, you probably wouldn't be one of the most successful people in the world. So what is our episode tomorrow? Tomorrow, last week's live podcast, the 5 M's of next level motivation, goes hand in hand with this, because when you're not feeling like you want to do it, you got to give yourself a kick in the butt to get motivated. What do you want to talk about, Alan? We have an event. When is it? March 26th?
March 26th, Next Level Live. 8 speakers. Very excited. We just locked down 2 of them. So Eddie Pinero will officially be speaking. Dr. Taryn McCarthy will officially be speaking. The one and only Kevin Palmieri will also be speaking.
That's what you're coming for.
Exactly. Let's be honest. No, but seriously, Saturday, full day, full immersion event. There will only be 100 tickets sold. 70 standard admission, 20 will be VIP, and 10 you'll be able to have a networking dinner with the speakers. And again, it's 147. The landing page is not up yet, but it will be 147 for standard admission, 247 for VIP front row seating, and then only 10 tickets will be sold at $997 to have a networking dinner with all of the speakers that night. Full day, full immersion event, March 26th, 2022. Very, very exciting. You'll meet the entire team. You'll meet Kevin and myself. You'll meet the other speakers. Super, super exciting. And if you do want a vendor table, please reach out and let us know as well.
And our goal is to help you level up your life, your love, your wealth, your business, all of it. We're going to have, again, Alan and I have been to enough events at this point to know what works and what doesn't, and know what we would change and what we really like. So we're going to be taking the best of everything we've seen, and we're going to be bringing it. And we want you guys to come join us. So we're super excited to meet as many of you in person as possible. Very excited. Let's get our next level on for the new year.
For sure. Very last thing, you've listened to songs on Spotify, and then you've also been at the concert. You've listened to our podcast. Now imagine being at the concert. That's what this event will be, and I can't wait.
Boom. Next Level Nation, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. We are grateful for each and every one of you. And we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you tomorrow for our live podcast.
Please reach out.
Bye.